Xolani is with me here in studio. Xolani, let's talk about Tencent. They're back in the news. The share price slumped again. What's going on?
They slumped again, and that's because of the crackdown that we're seeing in China. Tencent, of course, as you know, is actually linked to the biggest companies on the JSE, well, Naspers being one of them, and then Prosus. So what is happening with them in China is something that the market is quite worried about. They've lost tens of billions of rands in value in terms of their investment in Tencent, and intricately linked with what's happening in China and here at home. So China regulators are actually clamping down on those tech firms, particularly Tencent, because there's rumors that the WeChat Pay was also used to make legal payments, such as payments for gambling and the like. So the fear among the market as to what kind of regulations, new regulations, are going to come in is sending this stock down. It's now at pre-COVID-19 levels. A stock such as Naspers was sitting at 3,740 rands per share on the JSE, currently standing 57% lower. And also Prosus, fairly new on the JSE, having listed recently, but they are 60% down. So we're expecting that this is going to continue. And the big thing is that it's dragging the rest of the market with them.
And Tiger Brands has now announced a venture capital fund. Who is likely to benefit from that and how?
So they are in the food space, but they are actually putting a venture fund together. They have it already. They are targeting startups, food startups. And the first one was announced. It's actually a Cape-based, woman-founded herbivore. They call it Herbivore Earth Foods. It's a Cape Town-based company. They've poured millions of rands into the company, and they are looking for others in food and beverages. So anyone out there who is looking for a funder in the scale of Tiger Brands, this would be something that is good for them. The venture capital space in this country is a very, very big one.
I'm going to register my business as soon as we finish this conversation.
So we caught up with the director of the Tiger Brands Venture Capital Fund, and that is Barati Mohlwele, and this is what she had to say about this new venture, which is quite exciting.
We're seeing that long-term trends are showing that consumers, and even South African consumers to be in particular, are looking for healthier options. They're looking for more nutrients in the foods that they buy. And so that's really attractive for us. And one of these consumer trends is plant-based products, and which now brings us to herbivore, of course. But what really attracted us to herbivore earth foods is, and it's natural in the VC world, right? You're actually backing entrepreneurs. So in as much as you're backing the product, you're backing the company, it really is the people behind that you're really putting your money behind. And we're quite encouraged by Chanel Grantham and David Duplessis, who are the co-founders and co-directors of Herbivore, in that their ambition is greater. So yes, it is a plant-based company. Yes, they obviously are servicing the vegan market, but they have greater ambitions, which is very aligned to Tiger Brands.
There is still the ongoing battle between Telkom and ICASA. Whereabout are we now with that process?
So Telkom went to court to make sure that the spectrum auction was fair and is according to the Electronic Communications Act. That was before the spectrum auction, which took place 2 weeks ago, which actually recorded better than expected returns, and it recorded more than 14 billion rands that ICASA now has and is going to give to the national fiscus. And everybody thought, because Telkom was one of the bidders, they were the first ones to actually win an auction. They paid a lot of money, and everybody thought they got what they want. But Telkom is saying we are continuing with our court action to make sure that the spectrum is fair, particularly as far as the Electronic Communications Act is concerned. So everybody thought this would be the end of the court action. We know MTN was part of it as well at some point, but it doesn't seem like it is the case. Telkom actually believes that they are in the right, and it doesn't matter whether the auction 2 weeks ago went well or not. Market analyst Petri Redelinghuys actually weighs in on this one about what is actually happening when it comes to this particular story.
the hearing is between the 11th and the 14th of April, so I guess we'll find out more then. But like you said, they mentioned they've got to pay something like 1.1 billion rand, and that's going to potentially put cash flow into a negative position, and all these kind of caveats and warnings that they're putting out. However, they feel that that the spectrum auction process was somehow disadvantaged during this process, and they feel they didn't get a fair shot to compete on equal grounds with the other people that were in the auction. Obviously, that's Vodacom and MTN. I think Vodacom sort of came out the big winner, if you will, and Telkom is kind of feeling that this wasn't really a fair, equally competitive process for everyone, and they want to have another go, I suppose, is what it's really about. We'll find out more details on the 11th, I guess between the 11th and the 2 weeks or so.
Okay, so how are the markets looking at the end of the day? Any Monday hangover?
Yes, there is that Monday hangover of 10 cents when you're looking at Prosus and Naspers. They're not doing very well at this present moment, but the rand is holding steady against major currencies. Commodities are in the red all around. Global world indices are in the green, and there's a mixture in the market. But don't hear from me. Take a look at how the markets are doing at this hour.